Codex Nero. Something that I actually read a couple of times, like Codex Necro, and I figured out, hey, this is kind of a Warhammer name. And then I learned to read, and it's Nero, like the infamous Roman Emperor. This one comes from Poland, and it's the debut album called The Great Harvest of Death. It comes with a rather beautiful cover image. I'll try to show it to you once I just do a little bit of an unboxing here for the CD. Now, this is a name that didn't ring a bell in my head prior to getting the CD, or actually before getting contacted by the band, and the reason was rather obvious. There is no other release by this band, and now I'm already breaking this jewel case, so fuck it. But the thing here is, yeah, there is nothing beyond 2021 by this band. So all I can say, let's assume this is a rather new band. Seems to be a little bit mystery filled, which I guess in a way kind of fits the theme of the band. This may look like and even feel like a little bit of a black metal band, but in reality this is kind of a black metal meeting death metal in a secret place in a forest, well, or maybe graveyard, cemetery. Places like that is more fitting for the mood. So this is all about music of darkness and death. Darkness in the sense that this album indeed is very sinister and dark in atmosphere, and death in the terms of, well, being kind of a death black metal band. And this is interesting release in so many ways. First of all, it sounds more like black metal. But then again, the deeper you kind of go, it starts to reveal its roots, or should I say, those weird tentacles. And then you kind of see this undead feeling seeping out from the corners and all that stuff. So there's certain kind of a corrupt feeling with this one. Not purely death metal, not purely black metal, but I guess 70-30% in favor of black metal. So it's dark, it's kind of heavy, it's death-like, and there's this great feeling which surrounds the whole album. Now, it could be a lot catchier, I must say that right now, because while I like The Great Harvest of Death too quite a lot, in fact, there's something that kind of bothers me, and this bothering feeling, what I could describe is that while I like the atmosphere a lot, I like the versatility of the album, like no two songs sound the same. And while this is not doing your typical black and death metal feeling, I mean, it's a little bit different than that. What is a little bit bothering me is that this isn't exactly very memorable. Now, it took me a while, that is a few spins, to like this album this much. At first I was like, okay, this is just decent, nothing extraordinary or nothing groundbreaking. And while this is still not that, I started to like this a little bit more the more time I spend with this. But still, given that these songs go 5 to 7 minutes almost, there's something that is kind of like hard to grasp. Like as if this is not, handing out you those hooks where to cling on to, but more like, okay, this is just seeping around like this funeral fog, if you will. It's surrounding you, but once you try to grab it, it just escapes through your fingers. And while for some people that's exactly what they need and want, I kind of want something more tangible, speaking in metaphors that is. And that more tangible part could be that this is something that kind of drills into your brain and, becomes something which could be, a hit material thing. And when you think that sounds weird, when you really think about a lot of classic death metal and black metal albums, you know instantaneously what a hit song is. It might be, In the Shadow of Horns by Darkthrone, or it could be Hammer Smashed Face by Cannibal Corpse. The thing here is, when things like that start roaming in your head independently, like without even thinking about it, then you have something really, really memorable. And that's where Codex Nero is, unfortunately, not having its go. But even with that little miss, if you will, this is quite a good of an album. Like I said, The atmosphere is he really killing it, and also the production is very very solid and supporting this kind of music. So this is more about atmosphere than individual riffs or chorus parts or whatever. So people who are maybe not so much into death metal but love black metal and are still a little bit interested in, well, death metal, I think they could really really like this one. Also people from death metal territory who are already, you know, like 1 feet wet with black metal but not fully immersed in that genre might really like this one. So I don't know how about some people like giving this 94% on Metal Archives, how they find this album to be. Maybe for some people this is exactly that, the next to next to the perfect album kind of a release. But definitely an interesting one, definitely worth giving a shot. It's not great, but it's quite good. So that should give you an indication of why to check this out. So there it is. Check out the link provided and enjoy the darkness.